Hello my Foonatics, it is Fufu here. Today I have a Wi-Fi battle for you, but before we get into that, I just wanted to say a huge thank you because today I found out I hit 5k subscribers, which is mental. That is so many people. I'm kind of overwhelmed. Your support has been so great, and to know that people are enjoying my content, it's just so cool. Oh my god. Thank you so much. It makes me so happy. And yeah, I'm gonna strive to bring you the best content that I can. I'm so hyped for ORAS at the moment. I know you guys all are too, and we can enjoy this ride together. Welcome to all the new people. I hope you enjoy your stay. And without saying anything further, let's get into this battle today because this one is a special one. This one is the return of Ploofy the Altaria, but in a more angry mood, I'd say. I think Ploofy got off on the wrong side of the bed in this one because it's a Dragon Dance set with frustration, and Ploofy is going to vent. Ploofy is going to vent. This team is a UU team because the person I'm playing, Matthew, that's what he requested. I take battles over Twitter. If you want to battle me, check in my description and you will see my Twitter link. You can follow me there and I tweet out when I want to take battles. That's exactly what Matthew did. He requested UU. I hadn't really played much of it before. I know Sableye is actually UU at the moment. It's not OU, but I feel like playing OU a lot because you just have access to everything and you kind of know where you stand a bit more. UU is like, there are some really massive threats because Smoke on Tearing has done it wrong in my opinion and just let the megas go into whichever tier their non-mega was in, and that's not how things should have worked. I think all the megas should have been suspected in OU first and then brought down, but this way UU is quite unbalanced because Mega Metagross is there and that's going to be a top tier OU threat, which I know I can anticipate already that some people are going to say it should be banned from OU and is in UU. I don't think it should be banned from OU, but anyways. So yeah, I'm going to bring my Altaria, and I built this team trying to think of some of the threats that I would have to deal with. Basically, Fortress deals with Glade-ish and Metagross. More, it's a switch in and then I can Volt Switch out and get initiative on those things. And also Giancy is a thing, and so it's like a scary tier and I needed things to deal with stuff, and this is what I came up with. I quite like the team. I like the Vaporeon and an AV Crook. They go together quite nicely. Fortress, as I said, just being bulky. I've got the Scarf, Chandelure. We've got Shaman. I wanted a powerful grass type, and I thought Shaman would be a good one. And then finally, also it's got Aromatherapy. I've got a bit of Wish Passing, Aromatherapy, and like slow Volt Switch on the Fortress and slow Baton Pass on the Vaporeon just to try and get initiative to go into the checks to things that I need to. Anyways, that's the team very basically. We've got Ploofy in there. Ploofy is the win condition most of the time, trying to get a sweep. The other thing is just trying to deal with big threats. Looking at the opponent's team, he hasn't actually brought a new Mega, which I thought was very strange, seeing as though this is definitely an ORAS OU match or an ORAS match because I'm bringing my Altaria, and he just decided not to bring one. I'm not sure if that's just because he hadn't got one yet or not. I don't know. But he's got a team. There are things that definitely stop my Altaria. Those things are Roserade, which outspeeds if I'm unboosted and kills with Sludge Bomb. He's got and I only do like 50% with the frustration or the EQ, so I need to get boosted up to kill that or get some chip on it. He's got Bronzong that completely was my set because I've got Frustration and EQ and then Roost and Dragon Dance, so I can't touch Bronzong basically. I need that thing to go down or get weakened heavily before I can go anywhere. And then he's also got Arcanine. If that's a defensive Arcanine set, EQs even won't be doing too much to it, and he can Wisp me. I do have Aromatherapy, as I said before, because I knew that might be some Wisping going around. So those are the things I need to kind of deal with before Ploofy can get set up. He's got some threats in the form of Haxorus, which hopefully my Fortress can deal with, and also the Porygon. I've got the Chandelure check if it is choice and locks itself into the normal type move. If it's a setup move, otherwise it could be quite scary, but we'll have to see how I deal with that. And then the final thing is the Hitmontop for the spin, presumably on his team, but actually Hitmontop is a thing that I definitely can set up on with my Ploofy, so I want to keep his Hitmontop around so that I will be able to get that set up later on in the game. So let's get into this one. I don't really have a lead on this team. I've got a Fortress with Rocks, but I always think that people will predict you to lead with Fortress. I don't like leading with Fortress, so I always tend to lead with my Scarf, which is Chandelure, which is kind of a win condition a lot of times, and leading with it is not always the best idea. I'm going to switch out here because I don't know what kind of Arcanine it is. I don't see the Intimidate, which means that I don't actually think it's defensive, which is normally the commonest set. It's either that or Banded. I switch into my Vaporeon, which is mixed defenses. I do have quite a heavy defense investment as opposed to special defense. But that does quite a lot of damage, leading me to believe it may well be Banded. If not Banded, it's definitely offensive. Not sure if it's Banded or not, but that crunch would have done a lot to my Chandelure, that's for sure. So I'm glad I switched out into my Vaporeon. I'm now going to Baton Pass, predicting him to switch out, and he does do that. He goes into his Bronzong, presumably to get up rocks or something like that. And I go into Snooky the male crocodile just to get an Intimidate and go for a knockoff. It'll hit anything on his team really, apart from the Hitmontop, but I can get rid of the item. And yeah, I do a hefty chunk to this Bronzong, which is really nice. He does get up the rocks. And I'm going to go for a Pursuit here, thinking he might want to switch out, but it ends up that he doesn't actually want to switch out. I've done so much damage to this thing already, and this was his best counter to my Ploofy. So I'm looking pretty happy right now. I can actually take out the Bronzong because I Pursuit trapped him at that stage, and he gets like no damage on my Crook because my Crook is a bulky Crook. He had the Intimidate, and I don't have speed investment, so that's how that worked out. Now I'm going to stay in here because I am AV Crook, and you will see the power right here. I tank that. That was beautiful. He is a Scarf PZ, not Specs, but that was great, and I do so much damage to the PZ. So I was going to Pursue, but then I realised that I have a pretty easy switch into Chandelure. I know he can switch up moves, but he was either going to go again for the normal type move or maybe the ice type move. I knew it was one of those two, so I could pretty safely go into Chandelure. The Ice Beam still does rather a lot of damage. I mean, PZ is just so powerful, but I can take it out with a Scarf Energy Ball, so that's really good. So now I've taken down two of his mons, one thing that stops Ploofy sweeping and one thing that was a big scary offensive threat. So that's really great, but I need to switch out now because I'm locked into Energy Ball and I can't touch the Roserade. Roserade is a huge threat. I'm only realizing right now how spooky that thing is. I'm going to go into my Crook to sack it because it doesn't really help me much with the other mons on his team, as I've already taken out the big special threat, and the other one, which is this one, I can't wall at all. So I thought that going to that would be the best play. He actually ends up going for the Hidden Power, which is not very effective against my Crook. I won't outspeed, he will be able to kill me, but that was really, really good knowledge because Technician Roserade with the Hidden Power is scary. Seeing that it's not very effective against me means it's definitely not fire, which means that my Fortress can presumably come in here right now quite safely, and I'm not going to get killed by anything. I don't think there are any surprises. He could go for a Sleep Powder right now. I don't know what his last move is because he's probably got Dual Stab and Hidden Power, but I think his Hidden Power might be Rock. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, I go for a Rapid Spin. I really want to get the Rapid Spin off because I want my Chandelure to be able to come in quite freely. It's my Scarfer. I need it to stick around, so definitely the Rapid Spin was my best play there. Now I'm going to stay in just because I don't think he's going to go for the Flare Blitz. I've got both Vaporeon and I've got Chandelure, so I don't think he's going to go for that. He goes for the Crunch. That was a ballsy play, but it did pay off. I'm able to get the initiative. Knowing that he's going for the Crunch, I can go into my Ploofy. Ploofy is here. And I can just go straight. I went straight for the EQ. Because I thought he was locked into Crunch. Mega Evolving, getting the Fairy type, I thought I would be fine. So I go straight for the EQ, thinking he might go straight into the Roserade, and that's my best way of getting some damage on. I could have gone for Frustration, actually, because it does do about the same amount now with, like, Stab and the boost that the ability gives it, and it being a strong attack anyway. So, yeah, it would have done about that, and I probably should have done that because we see that the Hitmontop comes in now. But actually, it's not really time for me to set up yet. And if I had gone for Frustration there, I would have done loads of damage to the Hitmontop, and it may have knocked it out. And I don't want to knock out Hitmontop yet. It is the thing that I can set up on. So here, I do go for a Dragon Dance. I really shouldn't have been trying to set up right then, but there's not much that I wanted to switch into Hitmontop, and there's not much that Hitmontop can do to me anyway, so I thought there's no point in me switching out. I'll stay in, wait until he realises that he can't do anything, and he'll switch out, and it's fine. So yeah, he goes into his Roserade, and I'm going to go into my Fortress. As we've already seen, I should be okay. Hidden Power will do a lot, but it shouldn't kill. So he goes for it here. and I'm just going for rocks, I believe. It would be really useful to... And he gets the crit. So yeah, no rocks for me. Rocks would have been really useful for whittling the Arcanine so that my Ploofy stands more of a chance of killing with the EQ. I may only need 1 DD instead of getting lots of DDs to try and beat that. But now I'm forced to either go into my Chandelure to take it out, but then I'll be locked into the Fire type move, or go into Sick Womble, the Shaman, go for an Air Slash, which I knew wouldn't take it out, but I knew would do a lot of damage. And Shaman goes down, unfortunately, but he gets a life orb damage and lives on a sliver. That's not even health. How is it still standing up? That is not health. So now I still have to go into my Chandelure anyway, but at least now I can lock myself into the Shadow Ball, which hits more things on his team. So that's good. So I can go for the Shadow Ball. It will do some damage to this Hitmontop, but it will not kill it. And that is important, because now I've damaged the Roserade enough that my Ploofy can hopefully do the stuff. Arcanine is not a defensive Arcanine, and so EQ should be doing some damage. I want to get that +1, and I want to see where we go from there. It looks like a Banded Arcanine, but even a Banded Arcanine shouldn't be doing too much to Ploofy, because I do have some HP investment, and it doesn't have anything that hits me super effectively. So I should be okay. Now we see that he goes for the CC with the Hitmontop. That really doesn't do much at all. I definitely think that he's more of a defensive Hitmontop, maybe especially defensive. I'm not really sure at this stage. But I'm going to go for a DD. And I do have Roost on this set as well, so he might want to try and get some chip damage. But I'm gonna Roost up here, seeing that he's going for the Sucker Punch. That's fine with me. I've got the boost. I have got the boost, and now I can go for it. I wanted 2 DDs just in case the Haxorus was Scarf, and then if that was Scarf, I mean Haxorus might not be able to do anything to me, although he may well have the Poison Jab specifically for fairies. Anyways, I do just take the Sucker Punch damage, and I'm able to knock out the Hitmontop. I need to go for EQ here. He goes for the E-Speed. And it's just way too much. That did like 100, but it was a crit. That would have probably been a 2-hit KO though, so I need to kill here, and I do. Ploofy does the job. Ploofy just venting its anger right now, as he's going to go into the Roserade. Roserade is on no health. It's not going to take any hits, and because of my speed boost, I am able to outspeed and take that thing out. Ploofy is a boss. I love this thing, and I love that all you can see is like marshmallow fluff. Like, is there a Pokemon behind all of that? Jeez. I love it. It's so daft. It's really powerful as well though, and this thing can get the setup really quite easily. The typing is so beautiful. It's really great. So I'm able to take out the Haxorus. The last thing would be if he was like a Sash Haxorus or something like that. That could have been a problem actually. But I still have Vaporeon that would maybe be able to take a hit. So that was a great battle against Matthew. I really enjoyed it. Really, really pleased that I could get my Altaria team to work. I might be trying to use this a bit more. And maybe adapting it a bit. I really like the AV Crook as well though. I don't know, I just feel like it's a really fun one to use. So that was the battle for today. Please let me know what you think of Mega fucking Ploofy. I love this thing so much. And yeah, I'm going to be bringing you some more stuff. I've got some showdown things lined up and some more Wi-Fi's coming as well. I'm going to try and get my friends in on some free-for-alls, and it should all be fun. Hope you guys are all good. I've been Foofoo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Bye.